It's the Rock 106.9 WCCC, a very special guest here in Nights in the Asylum. It's Tony Horton from P90X fame. He's coming to Connecticut. Tony, how you doing tonight?
Craig, you madman. How are you, my man?
I'm a dancer. I'm a wild man.
Really? Well, we have no dancing at P90X, so you're going to have to find some new moves, I think.
There must be like a website out there with all the Tonyisms, all the crazy, bizarre things that you say in the P90X videos. I'm a P90Xer myself, man. So I'll sit there, and I've been doing it for like a year now, and I'll still sit there and crack up, and I make my girlfriend do the yoga with me, and we sit there and we laugh at you.
Craig, that is very kind. I know you're laughing with me.
With you, yes.
That's fine. But, the fact that you've been at it for a year, I'm very proud of you, my man, because P90X is not an easy thing. I mean, a lot of folks buy it, and they do it once or twice, and it goes back on the shelf. But the reason why it's gotten so popular, the reason why it works, is that people understand that muscle confusion is really the magic. It's a combination of, you're doing yoga. I bet you 5 years ago you didn't even know what yoga was. You probably put some strawberries on it and thought you were eating it. But, it really is, it's yoga, it's plyometrics, it's Kempo, it's resistance, it's weight training. It's a combination of everything, because most people fail because they get bored or they get hurt or they plateau. And with P90X, I structured it so those three things don't happen. And I give you breaks. I say hit the pause button, or I say some silly joke that you still laugh at, which is which is good.
I think the jokes get funnier as we go on. You know what I mean? It's like you may miss it the first couple times around, and then you're just like, you start laughing one day. You're like, I kind of missed that part, but now I got them all memorized, man. I could do your job on the deep. Well, no, I couldn't do that, but.
Well, the weird thing is that there are one or two websites with Tonyisms, and when we shot P90X. We just shot it. We had the cast members, 80% of them are folks that were in one of our test groups, because all the hot shots that we were going to hire for the DVDs couldn't do them.
Yeah.
Because they had one and two-dimensional fitness, and the folks that had been through the test group had been through the mill. They knew the drill, So we put microphones on people, and they're real people with personalities, and, people know Pam the Blam, and they know Pfeiffer Scissors, and they know what a Mason Twist is. And, we even named a lot of the moves with some humor in it, because exercise is hard enough. So if you treat it like rocket science, or you've got some drill sergeant personality, that turns people off. And so the idea is, what combination of things has to happen so that you look forward to having your butt kicked 6 days a week? And we found a very interesting formula that works.
One of the things that you put up on your Facebook page one time, and it said something like, think about how you feel after you get done with a P90X workout, and then think about how you feel if you skip a P90X workout. And I never really thought about it like that, but when I skip a workout, man, I feel like dog crap. I look forward every day to doing my P90X.
Well, it's interesting about exercise, and it's still to this day people don't understand. There's a great book called Spark. It's the effects of physical activity on your emotional and mental state. And so when you exercise hard, especially a P90X workout, because even though you're doing a chest and back routine, you're doing it at a pace where your heart rate is elevated, right?
Sure.
You're releasing norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin. These are all the feel-good chemicals that are sitting inside of your hippocampus, inside of your brain. And when you work out hard, they get released.
Right.
When you don't work out, you don't get it. So your self-esteem isn't there, the self-confidence isn't there. That feel-good chemical bath that happens inside of your brain, which affects your emotions and your mental state, are released through exercise. You can maybe get it through alcohol or drugs or fat, sugar, and salt chemicals in food, but it's temporary. And then, of course, there's a downside. With exercise, there's no downside. There's an amazing thing called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Everybody say it with me. Just kidding. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is only released in the brain when you exercise hard, and it's the reason why people who exercise consistently, I'm talking 6 days a week, 7 days a week, 5 at the minimum, those folks just are more productive. They have more energy. They have more enthusiasm for life. They can solve problems better, and not because they're studying or going to class. It's because they're moving their ass.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I say that on the radio?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
I definitely feel that, man. I'll tell you, I was going to the gym for like a couple years, not seeing results. I was gaining weight, and I was just about to just absolutely give up. One of my friends was telling me about P90X, borrowed a couple of the DVDs, bought the entire set, and now since I've been going at it for about a year, I've lost almost 30 pounds, and I wasn't even like a fat guy to begin with, but I've definitely slimmed down a lot. I've packed on muscle, and I've improved without a doubt in all areas of fitness. I went out mountain biking today and just killed it.
Craig, 30 pounds?
Yeah, 30 pounds. Is that pretty good?
That is, astonishing. You know, I mean, I'm sure you're a young pup. I mean, I'm 53, but I'm guessing you're younger than I am.
I'm 38.
I mean, look at that gift that you've given yourself. Here's the beautiful thing, man. Now you know better.
Yeah.
Anything else that you do from this point forward, except for maybe P90X2,
Yes.
will be subpar. It won't be enough. There, you know, I mean, you know, if you're doing yoga and Pilates and Kempo and resistance and everything else, you know, ABRAPER X, forget it. With ABRAPER X,
Yeah.
that's the cherry on top of the cake.
Yeah.
Then you really learned everything you need to do to sustain your fitness for the rest of your life. If you can maintain. And this is another reason why people seem to fail is they don't have a plan, they don't have a purpose, and they're not accountable. You know, P90X gives you the plan. You know, like we always say, just push play. You put the disc in, you follow along. Some days you're going to keep up, some days you're not. Doesn't matter. Your job is to show up. Your other job is to pay attention once you get there. You know, so the other thing is a plan. You know, me, I have a desk calendar, and I write down every day in advance what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. I make an appointment with my health and my fitness. I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to wait till this afternoon. Because when you don't plan it, you're going to wing it, and if you wing it, it won't work. If you plan it, you'll do it. And the other thing, too, is Beachbody's created a community. You know, you can go to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and everybody's talking about P90X or Insanity or Turbo Fire. And so there's a conversation going on about it. People are like, hey, how many pull-ups are you doing now? How many push-ups are you doing an hour? Hey, did you get all the way through ABRAPER X? You know, there's a kind of a cult. And you're not focusing on the scale. You're not focusing on, you know, how many calories you're supposed to have at breakfast, or you're not focusing on, you know, your pant size. You're focusing on getting better, on getting stronger, on getting fitter. And that's the reason why you've been at it for over a year, and I'm sure you'll keep going.
And, you know, it's bizarre, too, man, because when you first start doing it and you pop in that plyometric CD the first time and you're like, are you kidding me? I will never be able to do this the whole way through. And now I can do it the whole way through, and I'm like, I'll go for a jog afterwards, you know?
Well, you know, P90X works not because there's things on there that you can do. It works because there's things on there you can't do.
Right.
It forces you to work on your weaknesses. When there's 12 different discs, there's going to be some people who crush, you know, Kempo and yoga. Sure. But they're going to be horrible at the upper body stuff. There's going to be these upper body weightlifter guys that are going to get in that yoga DVD and go, are you friggin' kidding me?
Yeah.
Right? But it's that combination, man. It's that combination that keeps you interested, keeps you from getting bored, keeps you from getting hurt, and allows your body to lose 30 pounds in front of your TV set, you know, between your TV set and your couch. When you were going to a gym where you had to pack the car, go to the gym, park the car, go in, change into your gear, get on somebody else's sweaty DNA on some piece of equipment where you're working two body parts.
Yeah.
You know, it's just archaic. I'm going back to my old university, and they want me to help develop their student fitness facility. And I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm going to save you tens of thousands of dollars because you don't need all this stuff.
Yeah,
what you need is open space and a screen.
Yeah.
And people working out together as opposed to separately.
That's a cool idea.
That's the future. That's where people, if you want results, that's what you've got to do.
We're talking to Tony Horton on the Rock 106.9 WCCC. You're bringing it back to where it all started from. You are from Trumbull, Connecticut. Is that correct?
Absolutely right. I spent my formative years in Trumbull from 5th grade all the way through my final days at Trumbull High School.
And so you're headed back there where it all started. What was your what were you doing for athletics during high school?
Oh my!
Anything?
Let me say this: I was a fair to middling athlete that had desires to be better. But unfortunately, you know, it was the 70s, and I want to put this delicately because I don't want to offend anybody, but my techniques grew as a result of what not to do, or what I didn't do back in high school. You know, back in those days, you were either an athlete or you were an observer, you know, and there were people on a court or a field, and everybody else would sit around and watch, you know, because most of us weren't overweight. We didn't have health care issues. There was not a health care problem. You know, there were maybe only 2 or 3 kids in my graduating class that were overweight. So, you know, you had athletes and non-athletes. I was sort of stuck in the abyss. I was in between. I was on the football team, but I rarely, if ever, played. I mean, the score had to be 104 to 3, you know, for me to get out in the field. And I was more of a tackling dummy during the week. And why I even stayed on the team, I don't know. You know, I just didn't want to quit. And I was, you know, I just almost made the tennis team, but didn't. And but I, you know, back in those days, if you didn't play well, if you weren't a natural athlete, then you didn't get a lot of focus from your coaches and your trainers. And so, you know, that experience left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. And so when I got out to California, when I got to URI, I had a weightlifting course from a guy who really took his time. You know, he said, hey, look, You can't do this yet? Let me show you the steps to how to get better. And I went, wow, that's weird. Oh, you know, back when I was a kid, do it well or you're off the team.
Right.
Oh, you know, I mean, it just was, that's just the way it was. So, and I took that weightlifting class from college, and that changed kind of my whole perspective on how to help people, how to train people, how to, you know, I mean, I know a kid, Jeremy Yost, you know, he lives in Kentucky, he works for Toyota, he's, you know, when he started P90X, he was 370 pounds.
Wow.
And he's lost 180 pounds. Not because I yelled at him, you know, not because I said, hey, do this right or you stink, you know. I showed him the steps. You know, you have the program, you know how it goes.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why he's lost 180 pounds, and he's going on this tour to Europe with me for the military. It's an impressive, and there are not one or two stories like that. There are thousands of stories like that. People who have never had an athletic day in their life.
Right.
And in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they're finally getting fit because they found a formula that works for real people.
So tell us a little bit about the event that you're coming back to Trumbull High School. It's actually going to be this weekend. You're going to be here in Connecticut. Tell us a little bit about the event and what's going to be happening down there.
Well, I'm going to be at the high school,
Yep.
and it's September 17th, basically from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. I'm going to do a workout, and unfortunately the workout is sold out. It's been sold out for weeks. So apparently a lot of masochists in the New England area that want to be beat up.
Absolutely.
But the really cool thing is that the 11 Law Seminar is still available. We have a beautiful facility there that holds 1,200 people. So
Great.
the seminar is kind of what you're going to get when you read my book, but you're going to get it live. So it's the 11 laws of how to get fit and stay fit for the rest of your life. So there's room for that. So come on down. There's going to be photographs and autographs. We're going to have my book, Bring It There, and we'll sign the books for you. And it's just going to be a fun health and fitness day. And it's also, we're raising money for athletes in Trumbull because, you know, when I was there, the school system had plenty of money to pay for things. And now, unfortunately, you know, to play, you have to pay. And so we're gonna raise, our goal is to raise over $10,000 for students.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great thing. And if I can go back to Trumbull and give back, I'm fired up to do it.
And then in a couple days after that, then you're going to be on the 19th. You're going to be at URI where you went to college, right? You're going to be doing the health and fitness workout and a seminar there as well, right?
Exactly. You know, it's kind of surreal when you think about it. These are two places where I performed miserably.
Did you?
Both as a student and as an athlete.
So now you're going back to redeem yourself.
Yeah, I guess so. You know,
look what I did.
I'm only mildly nervous about it all. But you know, I mean, I've done enough jobs over the course of the last 10 years that I think I'll be okay. But I'm really thrilled. It's fun to be able to give back. And I know a lot of people in that community, in that area, are struggling with their health and their fitness. And so if a seminar is going to, you know, set off a few light bulbs and get people moving in the right direction, then I'm fired up to do it. You know, if people can learn that you can get a great workout in under 15 minutes without any equipment, all you're going to need is some water and a towel and a mat, and I'll show you how you can get a phenomenal workout right there in a very small space.
That you can do.
Yeah. So I'm fired up, man. It's going to be great to come home.
Can we talk a little bit about, I've seen a lot about the pre-ordering online. You got a brand new workout program coming out, P90X2. I know that I'm really excited about it. Tell us a little about the program and how that differs from the first one. Why is someone going to buy P90X2 who's already a big fan of P90X1?
Well, P90X was a program to help introduce people to muscle confusion. You know, folks that were a lot of them, you know, way overweight. They shouldn't even have bought P90X and still got results, you know. So, but there were also a lot of athletes, a lot of professional, collegiate, college athletes, team athletes that were using P90X because it was forcing them, like we talked about earlier, working on their weaknesses. So, but for the most part, it was the first time folks saw muscle confusion, they saw variety in fitness, and they were introducing themselves to brand new strategies in fitness. And so that was kind of phase one. Phase two is taking everything that you know from P90X and adding an unstable surface. You know, so we've added medicine balls and BOSU balls, and you know, you're doing bicep curls in Warrior 3.
Wow.
You know, the brand new plyo routine is called Plyoside because it's just a whole bunch of different stuff. We're moving more laterally, more vertically. Excuse me, and the pull-up sequences are harder and more different. You know, there's a move called zip kip chin-ups. You know, in P90X, you got folks doing whatever they can, you know, and whatever body English they can use to get their chin over the bar.
Yep.
A zip kip chin-up, you know, your body's completely locked. There's no bending at the waist or the knees. You're coming from a full hang and bringing the bar up to your chest, you know. So it's the new frontier. And there's no cardio whatsoever in the brand new workout. A lot of people are going, well, no cardio. How's it going to work?
Really?
Well, it's all interval-based. You know, most athletes move for short periods of time. A football field's only 100 yards. A basketball court's even shorter. Tennis court, you're moving laterally and back and forth a little bit. Other than swimming and running and biking, those are cardiovascular routines. It turns out that you can get in phenomenal physical shape. Most athletes, work laterally and vertically for short periods of time, and that's exactly what P90X2 is. There's two new workouts called PAP upper and PAP lower, post-activation potentiation, and these things are monsters. They're not traditional cardio, but they're interval-based. So you're doing explosive movements, you're doing power movements, and you're also doing some really funky isometric movements. And the combination, you repeat them over and over and over again at real quick pace, and you're drenched. And you're also working, you're twisting and turning in vertical and lateral, and you're moving on multiple planes, which is what an athlete does. Yeah. And so in the process, you're going to be, everything's connected. Yeah. With P90X, in some cases, you're working on parts to help them all get stronger. P90X2 connects those parts together.
Wow, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited.
You're going to love it, man. And you thought there were things in P90X you couldn't do? There are moves. I mean, one of the moves, you get your hands on a basketball and your feet on a stability ball. You're not going to be able to do that the first 5 to 10 times. You're not going to be able to do one.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to hate me and you're going to curse me, and I get it because I get that a lot.
I'm going to be like, Tony, come pull my front teeth out of my carpet, okay? Oh, Tony, I can't talk anymore.
Put them right back in, man.
When it's a bad day for Tony Horton, when you wake up and you are not feeling well, what do you do? And when it's a bad day eating-wise, what is it that Tony Horton eats?
I eat really clean, healthy whole foods 90% of the time.
Yeah.
My main calorie meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, are good. They're healthy. There's fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes and salad and kale and quinoa and brown rice. It's the good stuff. The smaller snack meals are where I cheat.
Yeah,
I mean, if the calories are lower, then you can afford to cheat more, especially when you're super fit. When you're super fit, you can get away with a lot more than if you have weight to lose. It's just the nature of the beast. So my thing is chocolate. I love a little, 90% dark chocolate bar.
Yeah.
And, or, maybe if I'm feeling like a wild man, I'll have some key lime pie.
Oh, I love key lime.
Love that key lime pie.
All right, so I don't feel so bad that I go off the plan every once in a while.
No, I mean, the goal here is to get fit, to get healthy, to get strong, and to enjoy life. Some folks, they make the switch and they make it all the way, and they just feel like, I don't want to have any caffeine, no alcohol, no sugar, no cheese, no processed meats, no white flour, and I get that, and I stay away from that stuff 90% of the time. But every once in a while, I mean, I'll never eat a hot dog or a hamburger or bacon. I mean, that stuff is, to me, poison. I just wouldn't put that in my mouth ever.
No hamburgers? Oh.
No hamburgers, no hot dogs, no way. Processed meat, are you kidding me?
Okay. That
stuff is, and a lot of people are thinking, that guy's a maniac. And I am, but I have, 7 to 9% body fat because I make good food choices.
Sure.
We all look the way we do. We are what we eat. It's fuel. I mean, if you put clean, whole, healthy fuel, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats in your mouth 90% of the time, then your body's going to function well into your 70s, 80s, and 90s. We die from one of three things: environmental, behavioral, or genetic. And it turns out study after study shows that somewhere between 65 and 80% of us die mostly because of behavioral stuff.
Wow.
We could live another 5 to 20 years longer if we just made better choices.
Yeah.
And that even excludes any kind of exercise. Exercise is fitness. Food is health. And the combination is where the magic is. That's where the fountain of youth is. It's not in a pill or a potion. It doesn't come in a bag, a bottle, a box, or a can. It comes from you eating foods with one ingredient and you moving your ass 5 to 7 days a week for the rest of your life.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan to me, Mr. Horton.
I got applause on that one, man. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Once again, everybody check out Tony Horton. He'll be down at the Trumbull High School Athletic Department fundraiser. That's 72 Strobel Road in Trumbull, Connecticut. And once again, that's happening this coming Saturday. So go down and say hello.
Please come on down. The seminar is well worth it, and we're raising money for athletes in Trumbull. Really important.
I wish I could talk to you longer, man. I know Scott's got a couple questions for you over here, so I'm sure you got some stuff to do. You got workouts and legumes to eat and stuff like that, so we're going to let you go on this end. Tony Horton, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, man, and I'll see you tomorrow on my workout.
Craig, I'm proud of you, man. Keep going, dude.
Will do.
All right.